Welcome back to the Nickel and Dime Football Show. It's your boy Suds. We got the man, of course, the master behind the wheels of steel, Drew Harrison. Make sure to check out his comedy. Like and subscribe. While you're on the page, listen, it is wild card weekend. In some people's opinion, it is the best weekend in football of the year. And we are here to bring it right into your living room, phone, tablet, wherever you're watching. Make sure to stick with us. We're talking all the matchups. We are picking all the matchups. We got 3 and out. A couple, of course, we're going to talk about the recap leading in. Make sure to like and subscribe again. It's Nickel and Dime.
Shawn, you said it best, man. Wild card weekend. Always nail biters, chaos.
Yeah.
You love it.
Yeah. And at least one game. Like, I feel like I don't know which games are going to be letdowns. I feel like one is coming. Hopefully it's not Tampa for me.
I was about to say, you still got stock in this. I don't.
Right. So hopefully it's not that game for the Tampa offense or defense, but the rest, it's up in the air, man. I feel like we could definitely get some upsets, a little bit of intrigue, a little drama.
Yeah, stay tuned for some housekeeping notes. A lot of quarterbacks still not with their teams in these critical practices leading up to wildcard weekend. So got a lot of news for you on that front, man. But I agree with you. A lot of I'm looking at the Giants in Minnesota. That's just ripe for chaos.
It is.
And I hate to tell you, the Dallas Tampa is just chef's kiss, ready for a disaster to go down. So I love it.
Listen, and as far as me, of course, I have stock in that particular game. But looking at the rest of the matchups, honestly, I feel like I wish it was shaken up a little bit more, though. Like, we just got Cincinnati, Baltimore.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll talk about it in the housekeeping notes, too. But, man, listen, we're going to get into it. But the two matchups that I'm most looking forward to, definitely Jacksonville and the Chargers.
But right back at you.
Yeah, aside from my game, then I got a second U with that Minnesota New York Giants game because the Giants upset the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Maybe started their downturn, Drew. So I feel like we might. Is it time for Minnesota Magic again?
This is the time of the year where it springs up.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Well, let's get into our Week 18 recap, man. Don't want to keep you hanging on these matchups because we want to talk about them. Chiefs beat the Raiders. Chiefs get the number 1 seed. Still, with what Buffalo did, if they do play Buffalo in the AFC Championship, it will be at a neutral site. Stidham did his best Carr impersonation with 219 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. I'm not seeing why you alienated the face of your franchise for 2 games of Stidham.
It might be a whole 2 games plus next season. So we don't know how that's going to work out. I don't see it.
But then again, this was me right here last year being like, there's no way Aaron Rodgers goes back to Green Bay.
Okay.
So yes. I'm scared to put that flag in that Carr will not return. So I don't know, man.
At Old Takes Exposed, where you at? Drew, listen, man, talking about Kansas City, being honest, I'm a little bit worried about the Chiefs, man. I am a little bit worried about the Chiefs. They didn't need a dominant performance, right? But because we're so used to seeing one, that them going a couple of weeks without a dominant performance from the skill position is a little concerning to me. It is a little concerning. You about to say something?
They're saving it. True Chiefs fashion.
Listen,
I truly believe that these guys are like MJ did with the Bulls those last few years, where he's like, just get me to the playoffs, man. Like, I don't care about this. Like,
man, I definitely feel like that's what Tampa did a couple weeks this season, and now they're here. But listen, talking about the Chiefs, man, their defense did specifically show up. They were sacking the quarterback a lot. I think Chris Jones was all over the place this past week.
late campaign
So,
for
so
defensive player of the year.
that going into the playoffs for them is good, but I am a little bit concerned that the offensive skill position hadn't really been there. It's just been the Mahomes show, like we mentioned last week. And
Yeah.
talking about Las Vegas, before I kick it back over to you, man, so we just talked about Stidham, right? I have to ask, legitly, why anybody thinks Tom Brady is going there next year. I, I really have to ask the question. Like they have OL problems. They have skill position problems outside of Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. And a spotty defense, that's 3 strikes alone, let alone the questions about Josh McDaniels as a head coach.
Yeah.
Get it out your brains.
And I don't really feel like I felt like Brady always clicked with Belichick. I always felt like McDaniels was just there. So I don't get the Brady's going to the Raiders because McDaniels. Like, I don't know if they ever really liked each other.
Yeah, it could have just been a working relationship.
It worked out so well. So
it did. So why would you change that? So you don't have to like each other to work together.
That's fair.
That ain't it.
That's fair.
That ain't it.
But you do have to have skill positions to pull a 46-year-old quarterback to your location.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So Jaguars win the AFC South 2016 over the Titans. Trevor Lawrence 20 for 32, 212 yards and a touchdown. They caused the defense caused an interception and 4 sacks on poor Mr. Josh Dobbs, who I felt like was just brought off a practice squad to be a sacrificial lamb for this Tennessee Titans team.
Yeah. He was basically out there. It was an audition. That's what it was to get him back in the league next year, man. Drew, did Jacksonville want to win this game?
It didn't seem like it. I don't feel like anybody wanted to win this game because poor Tennessee was like, we're not going to win this. Like, why are y'all? What are you doing? Just win it.
Right. Just win the game. Just win the game. Lawrence and for as hyped as I was on the Jaguars, and I think everybody has been these past couple of weeks, Trevor Lawrence didn't look great. He didn't look great. And that is concerning considering Drew just talked about it, the lame duck Tennessee Titans, the shell of the Tennessee Titans of a couple of years ago. And that's concerning to me, talking about being concerned. That's not what you want to see going into the playoff game. So luckily, though, the defense, Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker, the number 1 pick, continues to look good in the run defense role, but their defense has stepped up. So they won the game, ultimately put them over the top, but offense has got to pick it up. Travis Etienne with another down game too, Drew.
Dude, he almost cost me a championship in my other league because he put up like 5 points. But luckily, I didn't put up Trevor Lawrence because he only put up 10 points. I almost put those 2. So
yeah.
And I did have I had a fluky win with Burrow missing one because we had 2 weeks in the final and Burrow missed a week. I get it, but hey, I won.
Right. I'm a beneficiary of a fluky championship. Yeah,
tis the year.
It's the year. It's the 2 year.
And hopefully we never hear about this again. I mean, we have to go through
right.
Please, no more players die on the field is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Of Hamlin showing such great signs, so good to see. That kickoff return. Hines had 2 kick return touchdowns. Man. Talk about kicking the door in. My man hadn't done nothing since going to Buffalo, and he's like, "What's up? Playoffs? Here we go."
Yeah, and that might be something that they need to look out for, Drew, because if the special teams gets rolling, I don't know how you stop Buffalo.
No, right?
I don't know how you stop them, especially if Josh Allen is the MVP caliber Josh Allen that we're used to seeing. I feel like he's had a couple of spotty games here leading into the playoffs, but hopefully he can get back to yeah.
And I believe Buffalo got one of the Patriots' better offensive games. I know Jones had 3 picks, but when he wasn't throwing it to the Bills, he was slinging it to the Patriots.
That's a very and yeah, because I think what did they score?
They scored 23.
Yeah, 23.
That's like their average. Their average is like what 14, and their defense gets 1. Yeah.
There you go. So that and we talked about how good their defense was last week when they want to beat, or a couple weeks ago when they want to beat Miami. But that's a good sign for Buffalo that they put up 35 on that D. You know. So and everybody's banged up. Don't give me the injuries excuse. I don't want to hear that right now.
Right. Dolphins hang on. Talk about not wanting to win a game. This game was just tough to watch, and you had to watch it because the playoff spot was on the line.
Damn right.
Dolphins hang on 11-6, 3 field goals and a safety against the New York Jets. The Joe Flacco led New York Jets.
Man, I did not have that on my end of 2022, beginning of 2023
I thought
bingo
we would never
card.
see that man again.
Never off into obscurity. I only 11 points though. Is that what you doing, Miami? Is that what you doing when you doing 11 points? And excuse me, Miami defense, we're not talking to y'all because you held an NFL team to 6 points. So we're not talking to y'all. Y'all, you did your thing.
They held the Jets to 149 passing yards and 38 rushing yards.
Man, for a Jets offense that was rushing the hell out of the ball earlier, obviously we missed Breece Hall, but after that, I mean, as far as the 6 points, Jets, we'll see y'all next season. I don't know.
Will we though?
If
got a lot of turmoil to go through this.
They do. I don't know if it, and hopefully Robert Saleh is there, but I really, if they decide to go in a different direction, I can't say that I'm gonna stand on the table for the guy.
I'm not I don't feel like anything is guaranteed this offseason because every time I turn on an NFL show, I still hear about the Chargers coach being on the hot seat. And I'm like, what else does my man have to do?
Finally made the playoffs.
He made the playoffs with a very injured team. Like, give him a year. Like, it's so fickle, man. These owners want to win now. They don't want to build. Yeah. And I don't think anyone's job is
necessarily safe.
Right. So unless you win, the whole thing. So
right. And like we act like it's such an easy thing to do. I think you've seen people make it look easy, a la the Bucs in 2020, just adding a quarterback. But that team had to be built. The Rams had to be built by losing all them damn draft picks.
That's what I'm saying. You can attest to the years y'all stacked those defensive players. You got a wide receiving core. Y'all didn't go out and get those wide receivers. That was homegrown talent.
That was homegrown talent. Mike Evans had to wait 8-9 years before he got into the playoffs.
With just some
Levante David
quarterbacks.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you got to build your team, have a little bit more patience. But I say patience. Give me 3-4 years. That's all I'm saying.
Actually, do these contracts. Do a 3-year contract and let them actually work it out.
Man, we have been advocates for the 3-year contract for quite some time on this show. We've been pounding the table for that for years. We in season 3, 4 now. Let's go. Let's go.
3.
Yep.
3-year contracts. We're gonna reevaluate our contracts if we need to re-sign.
Yep.
Do it to these coaches instead of paying them millions of dollars because you gave them 2 years on a 7-year deal.
Yeah. Free money.
Talk about squeaking into the playoffs. Seahawks did their part. They won. They beat the Rams 19-16. Geno and company did just enough.
Just enough.
Then they played scoreboard watch later on.
They did. And of course, we're going to talk about that game. But listen, Seahawks did pull it out. Once, I mean, like, it was turning. And once I saw the Rams were up, I figured that they came to play. I thought it was a wrap for Seattle. I thought it was a wrap.
I did too, man. I was like, here goes Geno. That's
right. Yep. And that's exactly the way that I felt. And then after everything was said and done, it took them going to overtime. They wound up kicking the field goal. Maybe, who is it? Myers, does he need a statue outside?
If they go on a playoff run, they're going to have to.
Hell yeah, making that kick. But listen, Geno didn't have a great day by any stretch. You know what I'm saying? Like they will need him to be first part of the season, Geno, if they want to shock the Niners, because we've seen that song and dance twice, and it has not gone well for them. And we'll talk about it a little bit later. But listen, it's good that Walker's back, 100 yards, 100 plus yards, I think 114, something like that. And their defense did do some good things getting after the quarterback. So they have some stuff to look forward to, but it all comes down to the quarterback. Geno's got to play better.
Yeah, a lot of teams, a lot of these playoff teams, it all is going to come down to this quarterback situation, and a lot of them do not have a good situation. I feel like it's feast or famine in the playoffs for all these teams. You either got a great quarterback
Yeah.
situation or you got a crap quarterback situation.
Yeah. And you're hoping for the best of that crappy quarterback.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we've seen, highs from all of the quarterbacks,
Yeah.
but
We
those
know they can
lows
do
though,
it.
man.
Yeah. We also know they're there. Don't really need to talk about it too much. Just wanted to touch on our favorite division this year, the NFC East. Philly did enough to beat the Giants and get that 1 seed, but I mean they trotted out their starters and only won by 6 points to the Giants backup squad.
Hey man, listen, Philly pulled it out too. I'm curious to see, Drew, what we're gonna see out of Jalen Hurts coming off a difficult game, and then he has a week off before he has to ratchet everything right back up for the playoffs.
Looking a little uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. And the Philly rushing was also down. And aside from AJ Brown and Devontae Smith catching 7 of 8 targets, they didn't have much else from the pass game. Or the rush game, excuse me. And defensively, they only had 2 sacks, which is way off their average.
For Webb, come on. Webb,
right. You almost let Davis Webb cook you.
He had a rushing touchdown.
So I that's why I come at Philly from a concerning angle, because like Drew alluded to, the Giants basically sat all their starters and went blow for blow with them, only losing by 6 points, like Drew meant. So and now for the flip side, talking about ratcheting things back up, can the Giants starters ratchet things back up next week?
I mean, it's always that big debate on if resting actually helps.
Right. Yeah. What is just a quick? What's your stance on it, man? What's your stance on it?
I mean, I'm one of those guys, and I mean, this is just me showing my age again. Once I sit down, I'm done. So I'd rather just keep playing until the season's over with.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna get sore. I took a week off.
Right.
But then again, it's like an extra bye week. So I mean, if you look at it that way, as long as you get a nice workout in and you go through the game motion, I don't.
Yeah, because you don't want that old inflammation to
the old itis.
to tally up. You know what I mean? Like if you get stiff, once you sit down, the muscles stop moving. It's a wrap.
Yeah, I sat down the other day for too long and could not get back up. It was rough. In the other game in the NFC East, it was nice to see Sam Howell debuting for the Washington Commanders.
Yep.
They beat the Cowboys 26-6. That'll Cowboys didn't rest anybody.
Cowboys did not. They did. Did they, Drew? Did they play? Did they play? I don't know. Man. But listen, this has to, Drew, I think you got to talk about this as well, but this has to spell trouble for Dallas. Everybody was talking about it, today on all the media and on social media, stuff like that. This does not look good for Dallas overall. The way that they lost the game, Dak looks horrible, Drew. He looks horrible.
And, we were two of the biggest advocates for pay that man his money.
Yes, we were.
But, wow, what happened?
I don't know. Do you think, and we were talking about this, around the water cooler, stuff like that, but is this Cooper Rush thing lingering a little bit?
Did someone come in and run his offense better than him, and it just completely he Chuck Knobblocking it now, just completely yipping it up?
Yeah, man. I don't know.
He's good for a pick a game, and that it does not equate to good things in playoff games.
No, it does not. And it'll probably happen at the wrong time, which is great for me this week.
Yeah. And he has those, I for lack of better words, those violent interceptions. He throws those pick sixes. Like he doesn't just throw an interception where he's got his players around the guy. He throws it straight to the other team to get a running start heading back the other way.
Man, when he threw that pick to Kendall Fuller, I don't know what he was looking at. He was like, it looked like Kendall. I could see his eyes.
Fuller almost dropped it because he was like, "There's no way it's coming to me."
Yeah, and it did. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Man, I don't know. I don't know if Dak is injured. Like, is there something
could he be hiding something
that could be explaining his erratic play?
Could his thumb still not be all right?
And talking about Dallas a little bit more going into the playoff game, which we'll get into it. But if I'm Todd Bowles, I am asking to FedEx the copy of what the Washington football team did defensively. I'm asking for that yesterday. Get that in.
Yeah.
Six
Hey, their
points.
season's done. I'm hiring Ron Rivera as a consultant.
Yeah. Come on, man. Bring old Ron. And no, you can't have one of our offensive. Well, actually, no, you can have our offense coordinator. Please take Byron Leftwich away. Take him away.
There you go. Well, it was the Sunday night game, and it did not disappoint. The Lions said, if we ain't going to the
Yeah.
playoffs, then you ain't
Baby.
going to the playoffs.
Hey, baby.
So since Seattle did their part, the Lions didn't have a chance. So they said, screw it. We're going to beat the Packers anyway. They win 20-16. That defense stepped up, man. 2 sacks, a pick on Rodgers. Williams had 2 rushing touchdowns. Goff managed the game. It was good.
It was. I mean, and the Lions knew that coming. They all knew after the Seattle game, but the Lions didn't give 2 dams. They wanted to take everything from Ron and the pack, and they did. And they did.
Yeah. And they might have ended my man's career in Green Bay.
That's my next question to you, Drew. If Detroit winds up retiring Rodgers by beating them at home and eliminating them from the playoffs, does this make up for all the beatdowns that Aaron Rodgers gave them over the years?
I don't know if it makes up for all of them, but it's a nice transition into a new era in Detroit football. An era of hope, an era of wins, an era of no more 0-16 seasons.
Oof. Wipe that stench away.
Yeah. So if this is turning the page and Detroit's actually going to be a team that might be enticing to bring in some free agents because they like Campbell, they like the culture.
But do they like Goff though? That's the question.
We're gonna find out in April if they like Goff for sure.
Yeah, man.
What if this just popped in my head? What if Derek Carr comes to Detroit?
Okay, I like it. Good. And I think a lot of down Derek Carr people might be like, well, him or Jared Goff, like what are we missing? Based on this year's play.
The chance of the bigger play, I feel. Right. I feel like every other category, it's a wash. They're the same. But I think you get a speedster, Jameson Williams,
back healthy.
And Carr I just feel like Goff doesn't offer that deep threat that they obviously drafted this speedster to add to their arsenal.
Yeah.
That's also if their OC doesn't get poached. His name's popping around on a bunch of these coaching.
It is. So. Isn't he in the running for Panthers?
He had an interview.
That's what you need. Got to get that foot in the door, man. Got to get that foot in the door. So we'll see. A lot of questions for Detroit. I think they will be one of the most hotly watched teams,
no doubt,
this offseason.
Do Hard Knocks again, man. Come on, let's do offseason Hard Knocks.
They basically just need to not screw it up. They have it's clear on the tape. They have pieces in place.
If I had to trust anyone to not screw it up, it'd be Dan Campbell. He seems like a not screw it up, like put his life on the line to not screw it up kind of guy.
But he got that whole franchise aura working against him. So
he knows. He knows that logo that's on his chest, and I think he likes it.
Yeah, he does.
He loves being from the island of misfit toys.
Yeah,
he loves it. Yeah. Okay, housekeeping notes. Let's get into the news and notes around the league. First and foremost, we're thrilled here at Nickel and Dime to report Bills' Damar Hamlin has been not only discharged from the Cincinnati hospital and sent back to Buffalo, he has been discharged from the Buffalo hospital too. So he's back at the house, hanging out with family and friends. So, man, watching that game, I did not think we'd be able to report that a few weeks later. I'm so hyped that he is as good as he can be at this stage. Unfortunately, Miami has ruled out quarterback Tua. He's still in concussion protocol. He will not get to play in the playoff game against Buffalo. They are prepping Skylar Thompson to start.
Miami fans, that is not what you want to hear. Not what you want to hear. I don't want to just put them in the coffin already, but
You
for
got to think
what.
some dirt's on the top of it at least.
Yeah, I mean that. There might already be a couple flowers in there, but if Tua doesn't play, man, I just don't know that Miami can pull
The
off
way
a miracle.
Buffalo's playing right now, I didn't feel
Mhm.
like they had a chance with Tua, and now you
Yeah,
take him out of the equation.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
I mean, like I wouldn't. For me, I wouldn't say that if Tua played based on what we had seen from Miami throughout the season and then shocking people. Especially considering what we thought of Miami coming into the season with Tua and how they outperformed. So I would definitely give them at least a puncher's chance of getting it done with Tua, but without, hell no.
Oh, dude, with Hamlin being back home and just the way the Bills are feeling, and it's a home game, that place is gonna be
Yeah,
insanity.
it might be 50-2.
And the 2 was self-inflicted.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
uh, another team with some just terrible quarterback news in Baltimore. Lamar still not practicing, and neither is Huntley.
Talking about putting dirt on the coffin on top, man.
No wonder the uh, Chargers were like, man, we can take their spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, we got
They had to do too much, man, and I think that's what is putting a little bit of damper on Wild Card Weekend too. For me, as far as like the teams are very intriguing, but the
a lot of
injuries
weird
at the most
injuries.
important, it's kind of taking some of the
I
luster
do
away.
I do wish we could change. I wish Buffalo was playing Baltimore and Cincy was playing Miami, just for some,
Yeah, shake it up,
variety.
right? Shake it up. Yeah,
I wish it was kind of like the baseball playoffs, where you're like first round you can't play your division. Like we've seen that
yeah,
enough.
right.
We've seen it enough.
Yeah. I mean, hell, just put it up to a vote. Like, let the fans decide. Like, as long as it's I mean, if you want to still do it AFC, and as long as you still get the one team that has the bye, let the fans choose the matchup.
Yeah.
Who
Oh, that'd be
cares?
cool.
Like, if you're on a team, like you gotta have the mentality anyway. Like, oh, we'll play anybody. Like,
Yeah.
even though
I
you
mean,
don't
yeah.
necessarily
Yeah.
want to play anybody, but hell,
No, you want to be very picky with who you play.
right.
Well, Commanders fire their offensive coordinator Turner. Said need a change with
Yeah.
all the quarterbacks they went through this year. And
We
the Bears on the clock. Houston decided to win a game, gave the first overall pick to Chicago. We saw this a couple years ago when Jacksonville got the first round pick because the Jets decided to win the final game, and we have a whole Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson kind of situation. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure the Bears are
Man,
hoping that happened.
I have a little conspiracy theory here. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but I feel like Lovey Smith was a figurehead hire in the first place, drafted specifically or signed specifically to get them the number one pick, and then they probably guaranteed him at least 2-3 years. He was like, all right, cool, I'll get you the first pick, whatever. Does his job, then figures out that he's getting fired halfway through the season and is like, I got something for y'all. Last game decides to coach his butt off and then win the damn game and
Yeah.
screw up the first round pick on his way out the door. I think that's what happened.
He's like, deuces. Oh, by the way, y'all also got
Oh, by
deuces.
the way. Right. Yep.
Oh man. But the Bears GM, of course, has been asked the question already. So are they gonna take a quarterback at number one? Trade, like the whole conspiracy is trade Justin Fields for a first and a third, get all these picks, start over. But why? Like we already know
So
Fields is gonna
you
turn
gonna
out
start
okay.
right. So you gonna starting over?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
y'all just at step number one. Like you
Right.
got the quarterback.
But I want to go back to
Yeah,
zero.
they have so many holes.
But he
I
said
well,
he needs to
exactly.
be blown away in order to draft a quarterback number one. And so he's
Yeah,
basically being like,
yeah,
y'all are idiots. We're not going to do that. So we'll see.
yeah. No, I don't understand that at all. But I would. be interested to know if they are going to trade back because they need a lot of pieces. They need a lot of pieces.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a couple teams that got a couple first round picks. So, see.
There you go.
Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is adamant that McCarthy's job is not in danger, regardless of what happens in the playoffs.
I don't believe you.
I still kind of believe him, man, because I feel like I said with Jason Garrett, like I don't feel like my man likes to pull the trigger. I like to think he's all these talk like your job's on the line, and then it like secretly is like, please don't make me fire you. I don't like going through the paperwork. I don't like hiring people.
Nah. Right. Yeah. I could maybe see that a little bit, but Jerry seems like a guy that's like he'll say that, but then when he actually gets to watch it and be in the moment of everybody also being like, like he can be swayed a little bit by
I do give you that.
Getting wrapped up in the feeling a little bit.
That's fair. Well, I mean, the suspicion that McCarthy's job's in danger in the first place is the idea of Peyton coming there. But
yeah,
Shawn, they kind of cornered him on the Sunday show. I think it was CBS. He's on CBS, and they said
NBC. No, is he? Yeah, one of the networks. One of the networks.
But Terry Bradshaw and all the guys cornered him. At first, they ragged on him he apparently has gained like 20 pounds because he's just been at the catering, so they were giving him grief for that. But then they said on a scale 1 to 10, what range would you say you come back next year with us when the commentary? Right. And he said 7. So I don't know if my man's
come back to an announcer.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah. So okay. I don't know if my man's as excited to coach as everyone's assumed he is.
Yeah, I think what it is that he is taking a page out of the Chicago's GM and owners' books. Like, hey, I need to be blown away.
Okay, very true, very true.
I think that might be what it is. If the right team comes calling,
yeah,
he's a sneaky character, man. I don't believe one thing Sean Payton says.
I don't believe most head coaches.
And it looks like there's already a couple of teams that have requested to talk with him, being the Texans and the Cardinals. So two people who already fired their head coach, probably gonna be some more.
Yeah,
yeah.
Which is funny because he said his defensive coordinator is the old Broncos head coach, so that might be a little awkward to go coaching.
Yeah. Hey, you fired, but you could work. I got a job for you.
Defensive coordinator?
Oh. Yeah.
Last housekeeping notes. The Rodgers saga begins again. Hopefully he won't take all off season and do a bunch of ayahuasca and let us know. But
yeah,
he didn't give up his jersey. Jameson Williams asked for his jersey and he didn't give it up. He said, I think I'll be holding on to this one. So a lot of context clues that he's not coming back to Green Bay. Or do you think he's more likely to go to another team or just retire?
I think he's going to retire because they just gave him a new contract.
Yeah.
Like, didn't they just give him a new contract? So his rights will remain with the Green Bay Packers and they'll have right of first refusal if he tries to do the Tom Brady thing. So I think Detroit might have retired Ron if he just, and because they have some pieces there, and the defense started playing a little bit better, but I don't think anybody thought that they were a Super Bowl threat this year, even with all of the positives that they did have on the roster. It just, something's not connecting there. So I think that something that isn't connecting will also be there next year. And that means another year of nothing for Aaron Rodgers. So why would he come back for that?
I think he did not enjoy the teaching role that he was assigned this year. I think they were like, you got to teach these receivers how to be receivers.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't sign up for this.
He's too old for that. He wants winners. He wants winners.
Very intriguing to see where he gets off on the carousel. All right. So let's get into my favorite segment, 3 and Out.
3 and Out.
Where we ask the tough questions.
All right, man. Did I do first down last week? You want to get in the first down? What you
Yeah,
want?
I got first down for you. All right, first down, Shawn. Given what I just told you in housekeeping notes with their quarterback situations, who has the worst odds of scoring a passing touchdown this weekend? Baltimore or Miami?
Oh man, I think. Oh man, it's been so far removed from Skylar Thompson looking like a boss in the preseason that I'm probably going to give it to Baltimore because I feel like for as much as we talked about Buffalo being ready to play, I feel like the Cincinnati Bengals are ready to get that taste out of their mouth, continued to get that taste out of their mouth, and they're gonna try to boat race the Ravens to ratchet things up and get ready for these high scoring AFC teams that are still that are in front of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Baltimore might be playing from behind, and just by sheer necessity, they're gonna need to toss
Garbage
that
time.
rock. They're gonna
Garbage
need to toss
time
that rock.
touchdown.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I hear
sir.
you. I hear you. And to now that we're looking at it, man, we might have to sacrifice a little bit on wild card weekend to just get some bangers of some matchups in the divisional round.
Yeah, it might be divisional round, a divisional round year.
That's okay.
You know,
I'm
and
okay.
that's okay. That's okay. We still get more teams, not less teams. You know,
it's
so
quality over quantity.
exactly, exactly. So second down, talking about these playoffs, basically playoff focused, I guess. Drew, give me one lower seeded team in either bracket that has the best chance to win by double digits and why.
Ooh. Okay, I'm looking at two here.
Okay.
I'm looking at Chargers over Jacksonville. So I feel like if the Chargers offense gets cooking,
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Herbert can start slinging.
He can. He can.
And I hate to say it, but I could see things going very wrong very quick for old Kirko and Minnesota. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry,
Yeah.
Tony.
No,
But
no.
I think the Chargers are more likely to just womp the Jaguars.
That I can see too. That I can definitely see. And then we get like the much maligned matchup out of the six that we're getting. Seattle and San Francisco, for as lopsided it was the first two games, still a divisional matchup. I'm
Yeah.
not putting it past Pete Carroll to pull a rabbit out of his hat, get his team ready to play.
Did the 49ers beat them both times?
49ers beat snot out of them both times. Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to beat a team a third time.
It is hard to beat a team
scary.
3 times. And
scary.
I do have to advocate for my own game, much to the chagrin of Bucks fans. Listen, Dallas is a team capable of scoring a lot of points.
Yeah.
If
as long as Prescott's throwing to his team.
Right. As long as he's throwing to his team and completing passes, they have dangerous skill positions. So I can't for the Bucks, they better not forget that the Cowboys do have a high flying offense in addition to the defense. So don't sleep, is what I'm saying.
Fair. That's fair. All right, third down. Who do you see definitely getting a head coaching opportunity in the upcoming season?
DeMeco Ryans, first name off my list, and just the way that defense is playing, I've heard his name mentioned all year long, even before the season started, and his Niners have only gotten better this year under his watch, just dominating teams. So I kind of want to see it because I'm tired of the Niners being that good, and we need to win Super Bowls.
Needs to move on
while we still got this Tom Brady window. So if Tom comes back, DeMeco Ryans, please go somewhere else, not in the NFC, and do a great job there. That's what I'm saying.
It'll be interesting at who would be in the market for a defensive-minded coach. So I'm excited to see who he gets interviews with.
Right. That's pretty interesting too. Yeah.
All right. What you got on
third down? Talking about the Niners, Drew, man, we're bringing it a full circle here. Listen, Niners, in my opinion, are the strongest team in the NFC, bar none. Okay. No doubt about that. But that all hangs on Brock Purdy, like it or not. So after such a hot start, Drew, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it, in your opinion, that Purdy stumbles and gives us a typical rookie QB game in the playoffs?
I'm gonna go 6 because
That's what I like to hear.
I think it's 50-50, but I'll give it a little bit more on the universe and history being against him.
Mm. That's where I'm coming at. That's
Like,
what
how
I
scary
feel.
does that have to be? Like, you're the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers
Mm-hmm.
in the playoffs. And that
Storied
carries
history,
so much weight to
so
me.
much weight. Yes,
And
yes,
people are
sir.
kind of expecting you to mess up. That's
And
got to be in the back of your head.
it's been going so well at this point. It's been going super well. I think he had one okay game, and they
Yeah.
still won.
Yeah.
You know,
And I mean,
so
he could have that. He could have that killer mentality though,
he
because I
could.
haven't seen a lot of interviews with him, so I don't really know his demeanor or his
Right.
makeup as a person. But
Yeah.
he could be waiting for this. He'd be like, "I've waited my whole life for this." So we get to see who Brock Purdy is this
Yeah.
opening game because he's got to be what he's been for
Yep.
San Fran to be that scary team in the NFC that you talked
Yeah.
about.
And I honestly I expect him to come out and be nervous. Like I think all of the quarterbacks, those
Yeah.
first two drives are going to be nervous. Tom Brady on down.
They just got to
So
make sure that they don't make mistakes that the other team can capitalize on.
exactly, because I feel we talked about this before, but I feel like as soon as the game starts in the playoffs, it's over. Like it's the 60 minutes seems to run so fast.
Just remember that Super Bowl, that Seahawks Broncos Super Bowl, where it just got out of hand so fast.
Yep, and it was it. That was it. Yep.
Oh man. Well, we've been waiting all show. Let's talk matchups of the week. And surprise, surprise, it's Wildcard weekend. So all the matchups are matchups of the week.
They are.
Shawn, we'll just go in order of how their earliest showing. First playoff matchup, Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers. This is perfect. We were just talking 49ers.
We were.
Can Geno pull it off?
Man, I think he can. Do I think it's likely? No. I don't think it is likely at all. Just too many things going up against Seattle in this one. And we talked about this many times throughout the season, man, but aside from the teams on the field, I think the best coach is on the 49ers sideline. And I don't know what wrinkles he has cooked up for this game. So it's just too much unknown. But I know that every single other team in the NFC is looking at this game to see what they're going to be doing.
Yeah. Because if Seattle can run on them, every other team's going to be like, how'd they do that?
Right. Yep. So very, very curious to see the tape from this game. And divisional matchup, I got to give them a puncher's chance, man. But I don't know, man. Tough. How you feeling about it?
And I mean, it just all depends on how San Francisco gets those weapons involved. Like we said, can Purdy calm the nerves in the first few drives, or is he just a killer and it's not an issue?
Yeah. I have no idea.
I see a lot of screen passes and check downs to CMC early on just to gauge how the rookie's doing. So I could see a bunch of big gains from CMC early on. And I legit fear for Geno with this defense. Yeah. But like we said, it is very difficult to beat a team for the third time in the same season.
It is.
Seattle does have that on their side. Yep. And I mean, it's Pete Carroll. So he's been there before. He's got a game plan.
Yep.
It's just,
honestly,
he pull it off with way less talent than the 49ers have?
That is true. Now, I know the Seattle defense, Tariq Woolen has something to say about that. They are gonna show up and fight. I know the Niners are probably getting Elijah Mitchell back as well, so that's another thing that you got to look out for. But Drew, like you gotta admit though, and I'll kick you. I want to hear your thoughts on this, but all the pressure has to be on San Francisco, though.
Yeah,
That has to mean something.
for sure. Because that's like we said, it's the perfect setup to mess up.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to win wild card weekend. Sometimes that's all you need to lose.
That's
Is you
it.
were supposed to win.
Yep. Yep. That mindset. I know San Francisco is probably like, man, we beat these dudes twice. Let's just do it a third time.
I hope that they pull from last year's experience when they had to go into Lambeau and no one gave them any kind of chance to be Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, and they
Yeah.
pulled out a defensive masterpiece.
Yeah. And I think the NFC, if San Fran does wind up losing this game, I think the NFL and the rest of the NFC playoffs won't be as good because of that.
No, I don't want to see
Yeah.
Seattle and Philly in the NFC Championship game.
Right, right. No, I don't want to see that either. But while I still have a dog in the fight, it would make it easier for me. I would love it because it makes the path easier for me. But it's completely self-serving.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Jacksonville Jaguars, that good old AFC 4-5 seed.
Yep. I think these are probably going to be the best games, the 4 or 5 seeds, man.
Yeah, I'm excited about this game, man. We've been, ever since they came into the league, we've been high on Herbert. We've been high on Lawrence. And now they get to be in the, is this both of them's playoff debut?
I think it is, Drew. I think it is. What another great storyline.
Yeah, so
for this game.
That's fantastic. I'm excited about that.
Hey, somebody's getting to play at least two playoff games out of these two quarterbacks. Which one is it going to be? Who do we get to see more of? Who adds to their growing legacy?
Yeah.
Hopefully a long storied history for both of them. But Drew, I think the who is the favorite right now? Oh, I think it's the Chargers. It is the Chargers on the road.
I feel like the Chargers have a little bit more momentum on their side. Like we said last week, the the Jaguars kind of struggled in to the end of the season. They looked great. They looked okay. They looked great. They looked okay. So it's I'm excited to see who gets started, ETN or Eckler. Yeah. I think both of them are going to play big into this offensive game plan. I'm not worried about these quarterbacks. I think the quarterbacks are going to be just fine. Herbert's got all his weapons, man, and that's terrifying.
Now, I do want to know if Mike Williams is going to play, though. He left last game with that back. He left last game with a back injury. So, Coach said he could have came back and played. He apparently needed help.
Oh no! We've all been there. When your back goes out, you can't move.
It goes. Yeah, it goes.
Mine popped out at a grocery store. I had to use the cart to get back to the car.
For Chargers fans, I hope that he can come back so they'll be at their full arsenal, because I feel like they've waited so long to get in. Just let the team be ready to compete with all their weapons in tow, man. So I don't know. Is Jacksonville going to be able to level up offensively? We've seen them talking about being up and down. I think that's what makes this match so intriguing, is because these teams are looking in the mirror at each other as far as being erratic.
Yeah. Can Josh Allen step up? That's fun to talk about Josh Allen in this game too.
Yeah, and on the defensive side. Yeah, and the Jacksonville defenses has been pretty good, man. They've been pretty good in spots, great in spots. So
Chargers has been rough at spots.
Yeah.
I feel like Derwin James has been ready for this his whole career. So I expect a big game from him.
Yeah. I do too.
Well, we're hoping this one doesn't turn into a mercy rule, but we got the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo in the playoffs. Can you imagine if there's any way Hamlin can just be in like a box and he just waves to the crowd before the game? Like,
I think he's definitely going to be in the place. And if so, then I believe that Buffalo is going to basically live up to that -13 favorite that they are right now in the playoffs. They are a -13 point favorite in the playoffs, a professional team. So, yeah. And I mean,
just might be like 42-0.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at it. There's some big spreads. I mean, the three games we just talked about one. Seattle is a 9.5 point dog, and the Baltimore, which we'll talk about in a second, they're an 8.5 point dog. So I don't know where you don't bet this week. Don't bet
I
this
was
week.
about to say, don't put any money on this.
Yeah,
Just bet for fun. Just bet
or
for fun.
do and cake out. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. Another matchup that we're very intrigued with: the New York Giants at Minnesota Vikings.
Yes.
Who
Oh
wins
yeah,
this game? I'm excited
man.
about it.
We alluded to it a little bit earlier, man, but there's we maybe I just talked myself into it, but I feel like there's something magical going to happen in this game
Yeah.
because of the way the last one ended 27-24 in the favor of the New York Giants. Uh, I believe that game was in New York. I'm not sure, but this one's in Minnesota. This was in Minnesota where the magic tends to happen for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Did
So,
you know though? Last week we had a Kenny Galladay touchdown.
whoa, whoa, that we did. That we
Does
did.
that start something? We'll see.
I think it could, and he's on his way out. So now that he's in the playoffs, at least I believe so.
Yeah.
He
Unless
needs
it
to
just isn't financially like just put
possible,
him on the practice squad.
right? Man, listen, I they're gonna need people to step up this game. If they haven't had it, Daniel Jones obviously has to do what he's done most of the season, but the skill players not named Saquon Barkley, they got to step up.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then on the other side, I want a big game from Jefferson.
I wonder if New York is gonna deploy the same strategy that whichever team held Jefferson to one catch 15 yards. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Detroit or something like that. Like I
feel
can't
like,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Just put everybody on him and make Thielen beat you.
might have to do it. Might have
Yeah.
to do it. Dalvin gonna need to step up, and Kirk can't have what people think is coming from Kirk Cousins. He needs to have a better game than that.
Well, he's got Hawkinson. No, it's going to be because that game, I feel like Jefferson got held in check. Hawkinson did all right.
I think he's probably going to be heavily involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Cook healthy? Is he beat up? I feel like we unfortunately have to ask this every year of him.
Oh, yeah.
But they put a lot of miles on that dude.
He did. Year. He got them city miles.
Yeah. That's stop and go traffic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very intrigued. I want to see who stops who, because both these teams have a great running backs, but they also have can get it done in the air.
Yeah.
Do we see what quarterback furthers their weird relationship with their fan base? Daniel Jones or Kirk Cousins?
Man, talking about the two quarterbacks from the other game, but I definitely feel like that is the storyline for the quarterbacks for this two game. Are you going to be an angel or a scapegoat? Which one is your city going to be saying about you?
You get a key to the city or the key to get out of the city.
Yeah. No, they might just throw that key away and just keep you in the city in the gulag. But yeah, I don't know. Well, actually, no, we're gonna pick every game. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you stay tuned for that.
This was a tough one to pick. Didn't have as much trouble picking this next game. Baltimore Ravens, probably on their third string quarterback, Brown, at Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Burrow's clicking. I feel like, oddly enough, watching last week, I feel like, and this can be weird to say, it's just an observation, but I feel like they got a little bit more of an emotional boost from Hamlin getting released from the hospital than the Bills did.
Yeah, because that the weight is off their shoulders that they, might have harmed somebody else, even if unintentionally, So now that he's good, it's like, man, well, we can just play football now. Like, and then they didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. And I think it being so close that, like, I don't even think you have the turnaround time to be like, all right, we're going to get these dudes the second time. No, they just beat you down. And I think they're about to do the same thing
I really
this
feel
week.
like Baltimore's just going to fold up, unfortunately, with their
If
stars
they
being
don't,
hurt. I think Andrews missed last week. I don't feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
anybody's feeling good on that team.
yeah. And I know Harbaugh is going to have something to say about that. His players are normally ready to play, but they just been so injured, man. And I think the way that they're going out, they may need wholesale changes to do something different because clearly their style is not working. It's only getting them so far.
Yeah.
So you might need to switch the whole game up.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I'd hate to be the GM in Baltimore this offseason.
Yeah.
You got to deal with the whole Lamar thing. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shawn, how you feel about the Cowboys Bucks being on Monday night?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Don't like waiting until Monday for with the final game because just the history suggests that like if we're the last game and it's a primetime
Prime
game,
time.
oh boy,
Yeah.
oh boy. So I'm not liking it, man. But a good matchup nonetheless. These matchups just seem to be intriguing. I think Dallas Tampa has been entertaining the last 2 years that we've gotten to see it.
As much as I wanted a bunch of different scenarios here, I'm good with Dallas Tampa. I feel like these two teams, with what they've gone through this year, have to get through each other to advance.
Yeah. And you're right. I think that's very fitting for what these two teams have been to. And they gotta and I think for what it's going to take to get the win, they're going to have to exercise some demons. Tampa's going to have to, and they've been looking better offensively. I think they're hitting the stride, maybe hopefully right at the right time, especially with the skill position players now getting a week off. We talked about that all show.
Heal up a little bit.
I
I'm sure that was good for Julio.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and the defense too. So like Tampa will be healthy, may or may not be getting Ryan Jensen back for
That's
this
huge.
game. That is huge. I want to see what happens with Robert Hainsey. Dallas, I believe, is relatively healthy. Maybe not Dak's brain,
You're right. I feel like
but
Elliott's healed up.
right, yeah. So Dallas is going to give the Bucks their best shot. I honestly, I'm having trouble picking this game because fresh in my mind is how bad Tampa has looked at stretches for the season. Not being able to get over the hump, and then how good they've looked. So we talked about erratic teams. Tampa's definitely up there with some of the most erratic teams in the league, and Michael Parsons is a game breaker. That dude is still on the other side, staring Tom Brady in his beautiful blue eyes. Like he is going to try to take that man's head off. Yeah. So the offensive line is going to have to come to play. If they can keep Micah in check, Tampa's got a damn good chance to come home with a dub.
Yeah, nice. Sorry, Roquan Smith. We forgot to mention it in housekeeping notes. Roquan Smith is the highest paid linebacker in the history. Signed an extension with Baltimore.
Oh yeah,
and they were just showing how he turned around Baltimore's defense. So, just another layer to throw in there.
There you go. It's a building blocks in Baltimore. Oh, and then also you talked about the DeAndre Hopkins. Cardinals may be trading him.
I think the maybe's off now. I think they're full on gonna try to get him out of there. Which
come to Tampa. Come to Tampa.
What happened there? Like
if DeAndre Hopkins comes to Tampa, Tom Brady will.
You think he requested this? Like,
probably.
Where did this come from? Like, they just threw a lot of money at Kyler. Like,
if I'm D Hop, I'm definitely, because like I've seen what I'm going to get with Kyler, and that is not something I want.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's pick these teams. We're not even going to talk records because you've just destroyed me. If it gets close, we'll bring it back up, but I don't feel like it's going to be. So I'm still 500, 18-18. You're just
ahead.
You won the lock off last week. The Lions beat the Packers. So
damn sure. Oh yeah. All right, man. Where you want to start? We want to do.
Let's just go down the list. Let's do Seattle at San Fran. I got 49ers. There's no surprise.
Niners. Yeah, gotta go. I gotta roll with the
I don't
Niners.
feel like there's going to be a lot of just fair warning people. I don't feel like there's going to be a lot of difference in our picks this week, but it'll get there. I feel like we got a lot of differing views on
Yeah.
who's winning the division and conferences and stuff this year. So Chargers, Jaguars.
Man, this one is tough. This one is tough. My head says Chargers, but I don't know, man. I'm thinking Jacksonville gonna be rocking.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is
I
gonna be
feel like they got
rocking
the coaching
on
experience.
Saturday. You know what? Give me the Jags. I'm gonna
Okay.
take the Jags. I'm gonna take the Jags. God, I'm already regretting that, but I'm gonna take them.
All right. I'm going Chargers. So we got
Right,
one differing. All right.
right.
I mean, I will give it to you. It worries me if Mike Williams can't go or he's limited.
Yeah,
But
he's the
Keenan
best receiver.
Allen's looking like a beast again. So I'm
Yeah,
excited.
he is. He is.
I
But
know you hate that man.
he's no Mike Evans. He's no Mike Evans.
I know how you feel about
Mike
Mr.
Williams,
Keenan
best
Allen.
receiver on that team.
Yeah, that's fair. Is there any bit of you that thinks Miami's going to beat Buffalo?
No,
Okay,
not at all. Yeah.
Bills for me as well.
Bills.
This is a good one. Who you got, Giants or Vikings?
Man.
I'm going to go ahead and throw it
one.
out there just so you don't have to be on the you don't have to be have to go first every time and have your feet to the fire. I'm going Kirk and the Vikings pull this out somehow.
Whoa, okay. I didn't see that coming from you. Oh man. You know what? I honestly I think the Giants defense is gonna have something to say. It's just their offense that worries me. So I mean, we gotta have one great. Give me the Giants.
There we
give
go.
Me the Giants. Give
There's
me the Giants.
A lot more differences than I thought. This is good.
Yeah,
this is
give me the Giants. I'm taking the Giants.
Ravens or Bengals?
Bengals.
I will second that opinion
emphatically.
And Cowboys, Bucks. I'm going Bucks.
Really?
I'm going Bucks.
Really? Okay.
It all comes down to if it's a toss up to me, you go Tom Brady.
Good choice. Usually history suggests that is the way that you go. I'm going to take the Bucks. I just like the way that Tampa's playing, and I don't like the way that Dallas has been playing. Same. I think that you will get a better Dallas team because it's the playoffs and they know they can't screw it up.
Yeah.
But I think Tampa's they're looking poised right at the right time. And this is what they've been waiting for. Like all that lackluster play that they've been, sleeping some games and stuff like that. Now it's winning time now. It is winning time. And I think this is what these young cats were ready for. It's here. They're at home. I think it puts them over the top.
I like it, man. I agree with you. I got to put you on the spot because I know your love-hate relationship that has spanned many a season on this show with the Tampa Bay secondary. If Dak throws a pick this week, who is it to?
I think this young man, and we're coming full circle here. I think it's going to Sean Murphy Bunting, who has been playing his tail off these last 3-4 weeks, and he's had to step up because there's been some injuries to Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis. I think SMB continues his play in a contract year. I mean, he started to play better at the end of the season. I think it's SMB who gets the pick because that's usually probably where they'll try to target the receiver that's on him just due to matchups. So SMB,
look at that.
Bring it home, baby.
Look at that. Look at that beautiful end to our Wildcard weekend episode. Comes full circle. Shawn has some love for the Bucks secondary. But man, I'm excited about these games. I will be in at the Park RVA in Richmond, Virginia this weekend.
Hey.
So I'll be watching these games from my lovely Quality Inn hotel room.
Hey, it's quality, baby.
Right. Shawn, where can they find you?
At the Kid Suds on Twitter, man, at nickel underscore Dom FB, and at the illustrious nickel underscore Dom football on Instagram. Make sure to like and follow and subscribe there for all of our content. Drew, where can they find you at, bro?
At DrewHarrisonComedy.com, at Laugh with Harrison on Instagram. I got some fun shows coming this week or this year, so definitely check out the website. Hopefully, I'm coming to a town near you. Oddly, spending some time in Michigan, so where
Hey,
my Detroit Lions fans at? Come to a show. Going to be in Grand Rapids at the end of the year. Going to be back in Harbor Bay in March. So
this man loves the cold, so this
right,
was
I'm a
always
polar
going to
bear. I got
happen.
to be in
Yeah,
my natural habitat.
right,
My
right.
wife's at work. I got the AC turned on. I got my hoodie on. I'm good.
50 degrees in this man's house right now. 50
I got
degrees.
that one year I got free AC at East Carolina. Man, y'all boys had to bring a hoodie in the summertime to hang out in my dorm room.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
great. But subscribe. We got these chaos of playoffs coming at you. So stay tuned. We got all the action and more for you. It's Nickel and Dime. We'll see you next week.